and welcome to Learning to Learn. And today I'm interviewing a very good friend of mine, Mr. Simon Brampton.
Hello everybody, very nice to meet you.
And Simon has his own language school, Brampton Languages.
And here it is. If you just like to pan back, you might be able to see a little bit of it.
There we go.
Welcome, and let's go in and have a little look round.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea.
Right, let's go.
I've chosen Simon as the first person to interview because of all the people that I know, Simon is the one who always seems to be learning something. Whether it's business skills, social media skills or communication skills, I'm sure that Simon has something very important that he can share with us about how to become a more effective learner.
I'm originally from England, born in London, and I also lived in Ireland for 11 years, and this is my third country, and I've been here for 30 years. So it's over half of my life spent in or near Barcelona. I'm married, I have a 12-year-old boy, I brought him up speaking English. At the same time, because I love languages, I've set up two schools. One of them is called Brampton Idiomas, which is a local school for local people, and another school for professionals and for in-company training called Advantage Languages. Number one, my psychology degree. It's because it's over 5-6 years. Learning a language was definitely something I'd always wanted to do, and I finally did that because I was living in Spain. And thirdly, learning to touch type at the age of 50 and typing more than 50 words a minute. With a degree, it's 5 or 6 years, so it's an awful lot of material to learn. And I think the most important thing is finding enough time to be able to do that, and then memorizing and recalling the facts, because obviously when you're doing it at a degree or at any level, there's an awful lot to remember. Finding the time was difficult because I was working and studying at the same time. I studied the degree at distance. It was a distance learning course with the Open University, and I was working really full-time, Monday to Friday. So what I decided to do was sacrifice my weekends and designate a certain number of hours on Saturday and Sunday, which normally were 8 hours on Saturday and 8 hours on Sunday. I was a lot younger then, and I seemed to be able to study for maybe 2 hours, take a break, 2 hours, take a break, without too many problems, taking notes as well. I think that made a big difference, although I did get stressed out as well. One of the techniques, which some people might not call a technique, is being motivated. If you're not motivated, it's going to be an uphill struggle from the very start. The next thing I would say, if I can remember, was to have a plan. So I would say planning and be systematic. Let's put it this way. If you have to learn 36 units, what I would do is the following. I have to learn 36 units in 3 months. 36 divided by 3, it comes down to 12. 4 units per week. 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. So be systematic and follow it up. How did I learn each unit? It might seem strange, but I started from the back. I start with the summary of the unit first, which is a fantastic technique because then you know what you're going to read. It's been summarised for you. Next, I'd read through it, take some notes, underline things. Then I'd go back again and read it, and this time, really digest it. And finally, summarise the unit in my own words. The next step, which is really coming to the mnemonic side, is to make a mind map. So what I did, I took a big piece of white paper. I put the theme in the middle, so it could be a psychoanalysis. Then I put the different psychoanalysts there, like Freud, for example, and then I put off that on the branches. I put the different types of analysis. I put the dates, the people he worked with, and then I draw pictures, make it colourful, make it into almost like a painting. And that way I was able to memorize it exactly and write it out. When I went into the exam, the first thing I'd do is sit down and reproduce the map of the whole course and then look at the questions I had to answer, which seems very strange. So I think mind maps is one of them. The other thing is mnemonic techniques. Make things into a story. Make them as strange, as stupid, ridiculous and bizarre as possible. So, for example, if you wanted to learn the planets in the solar system, the best thing for me would be to make them into a story. So I could say, oh, Mercury was rising because he saw Venus, who was very, very beautiful, but he was soon brought down to Earth. To have a little break, he had a Mars bar before he went off and had a Saturn down. And there we go through the solar system. Make a story and it's more memorable by doing that. So there are lots of mnemonic techniques. I'd say find your mnemonic technique. Try and make stories. Make things as bizarre and crazy as possible because other people are also doing it. Say, oh, they can't possibly be doing that because it's so stupid. The successful people are. Right now, I'm working on setting up my own website. Now, I'm not that good at technical things or anything related to computers, programming or anything. So right now, I'm going to use all the techniques that I've told you about to learn how to create a professional website, to put on blogs, vlogs, and other things that I probably haven't even heard of yet. And it will probably be reading, digesting, summarising, mind mapping, and then applying to do that. That's my plan anyway. The first thing I would say is have a clear objective. Know why you're doing that thing. Secondly, you need to plan and be systematic. Give yourself a time to study each month. Know exactly what you're doing. And the third thing, if you really want to recall, use some of those mnemonic techniques. That's right, I set it up 4 years ago. It's called Simon's English Secrets. And what I thought was needed were very, very quick videos that taught one specific English term or give a little bit of information about English culture, such as St. George's Day, and also how to explain Catalan and Spanish traditions, but in English. I have 40 videos at the moment, and if you are learning English, I definitely recommend that you check them out. You're really going to enjoy them. They're short, you learn something specific, and hopefully you'll find them funny.